Boris Johnson has a secret plan to make sure the UK stays on track in leaving the EU. According to officials, it has been reported that the plan is so secret that even members of Mr. Johnson's inner circle have not been briefed on it. Only 3 advisors have seen the document reported to contain the secret plan, it was claimed last night. According to the Daily Mail, officials believe they have found a loophole in the law passed by rebel MPs to block no deal. The information, however, is thought to be so sensitive that only 3 of Mr. Johnson's advisors have been briefed on it. The identities of the 3 advisors has not yet been revealed, but it is thought that the likely trio include Dominic Cummings, Mr. Johnson's right-hand man and coordinator of the Vote Leave campaign, Brexit Secretary Steve Barclay and the Attorney General Geoffrey Cox. Opposition parties joined forces 2 weeks ago to push legislation through in an attempt to prevent a no-deal Brexit, effectively binding the Prime Minister's hands. The bill states that if a Brexit deal has not been passed through the Commons by the 19th of October, Mr. Johnson must formally write to Brussels asking for an extension, something he has repeatedly insisted he will not do. However, several figures within the law have pointed out some flaws that are apparent in the legislation. Jolson Morm, a vocal anti-Brexiteer, who has been involved in a number of legal actions relating to the UK's departure from the EU, has said that the law on no deal might not work. He explained that if MPs voted for a deal the first time around, then anti-no deal legislation would no longer force Mr. Johnson to ask Brussels for an extension, but MPs could then do a U-turn and oppose the deal before it was made law. This would in effect allow the government to freely pursue a no-deal Brexit. The news of a secret plan comes ahead of a separate legal battle over whether Mr. Johnson was acting within the law when he decided to suspend Parliament for 5 weeks. The case will be heard at the Supreme Court tomorrow. The recess began last week, with MPs and peers not expected to return to Westminster until the 14th of October. On Friday, during a meeting with ministerial aides, Mr. Cummings said that if the court ruled against the government, we could just prorogue again. The constitutional crisis is only just beginning. Last night, Downing Street sources said Mr. Cummings' comments were nothing more than jokes. Others have insisted that Mr. Johnson's move to prorogue Parliament was entirely sound. Richard Eakins, in a paper published by the Policy Exchange think tank, argued that proroguing Parliament in no way flouts parliamentary sovereignty. He added, "The power to prorogue is an important feature of the Westminster Constitution and enables the government to control the timing and length of parliamentary sessions, a power which it is free to use to manage parliamentary business. The government is responsible to the Commons, and eventually to the electorate, for its use of this power. It is open to political criticism if it is seen to misuse the power, but unless and until confidence is withdrawn it is entitled to use it." Mr. Johnson had previously said that he would rather die in a ditch than extend the Brexit process past accepting a no deal. The Prime Minister last week met with Leo Varadkar, Ireland's Taoiseach, Minister of Defence and leader of Fine Gael, to discuss a deal and the looming backstop that has caused much distress in Westminster. There, Mr. Varadkar explained that it was impossible to replace a legal guarantor go no hard border in Ireland with a mere promise.